As we mentioned earlier, each person corresponds to one of the above instances to a degree. However, very few people are aware of the impact of the mind-body relationship on these events. This lack of awareness is in part due to the cultural factors that do not lead us to nurture sensory and physical perception as a key element of our well-being, rather focusing on sacrificing the body in favor of cognitive efficiency and hyper-adaptation to external demands, such as social inhibition or professional performance, to name just a couple of the most common ones. A key process relates to habituation and a threshold, whereby our body begins to see a prolonged state as a starting point. We may lift a shoulder to use the computer mouse, to reduce pain, or as a fear reaction. In both instances, when we lower the shoulder and lift it up again an hour later, we can still feel that position is not natural. But if we keep it lifted for hours each day, however, it will eventually get stuck there and we will start to consider it a normal position, even though it is not. The conscious mind no longer considers it and focuses on its duty to remain productive on new issues and urgent issues, while the body remains conscious of the dysfunction and keeps a biofeedback relation to this unnatural pose, often along with the adaptation processes that go with it: fear, strain, passiveness, depending on the personal experience relating to the initial condition, of course. It therefore becomes critical to regain physiological order and solve this dysfunctional vicious circle. It is particularly useful to start from a sensory and a perception level to regain awareness of these processes. The feeling needs to have immediate impact and then lead to a more complex reworking higher up at mind level. There are two routes to achieve this. The first starts with the daily movements, asking the patient to bend down, to work in longer strides or stretch a limb correctly. While this is carried out, they should note whether the movements are fluid, depending on the area of the body, whether they feel pain or constrictions, comparing to difference between left and right side of the body, carry out the movement symmetrically, whether movements are isolated or rigid and so forth. The second option is an extension of the first. The first is in fact localized at perception level, which critically needs to be reactivated. This option stems from the visual perception of these same processes, showing the people that we work with a video or a mirror how they move, maybe comparing them with the videos of other people in a physiological state, just because they are more sporty or less traumatized, and so on. This way, it is not a frustrating comparison, but simply a perceptive starting point outside the self.